Wednesday night, we're all in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Wait. I was on time.
Not quite, almost.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show with my good friend and co-host, Tom. How are you doing? Oh, he raised his broken hand. Okay, it's getting better, I see.
A little bit.
I don't know, I called you a couple times this week. You told me you were in pain.
I'm still in pain.
Okay, so it's not better.
Well, you want me to say what am I going to say? Oh, I'm in terrible condition?
Yeah.
No.
When you call me and I'm sick, I'm going to say, I'm very sick, man. I can't do nothing.
I'm here right now, so we're going to do a lot more
Talking
than
to
nothing.
the mic, your hand's not broken. I mean, your mouth is not broken.
Well, I think the producer is helping me because I'm a little disabled on my hand.
Disabled, anyways. We have an interesting show. Of course, we're going to be talking a lot of talk about Iran, the war.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I still have a little paint on my face. You see that? I painted my face for Purim. By the way, happy Purim, everybody.
Yeah, great.
I painted.
Sorry about the weather with Purim, by the way. Weather was
But you know
miserable
what?
yesterday.
I want you to know something, and I'm going to tell you that I sent out a video. Me and my grandson,
Yes.
Yeshua, we made
see that.
250 little packages
Yes.
for the people in the hospital and the center.
How nice.
And I had to beg my son, and he gave me my little grandson dressed as a fireman.
I saw that.
I went as Uncle Sam. I painted my
Yes, I did
face
see
red,
that.
white, and blue
I
with
did
an
see
Uncle
that.
Sam hat, and I put on a judge's outfit and the American flag.
Oh, because you eventually want to go to law school.
Right, and I wore a tie, of course,
Yes,
as always.
you always wear a tie.
And it got dirty.
We're the complete opposite in that sense.
And I went out with my grandson, and we handed the people the packages, and they took pictures with him, and they loved it. And we went through the whole rehab center, and some people said, "Well, I'm not Jewish." I said, "What do you believe in?" I believe in Christianity, Jesus. I said, "Well, Jesus would take the package." You know what I mean? And they took the packages. And they loved it, and they hugged him, and there was like little Danishes in there,
Yes.
and rugelach, and people really enjoyed it.
I was watching them on Instagram about like how they make the rugalos on Instagram.
But I got pounds and pounds. I gave my son to make packages, so we
Wonderful.
made 250 for the hospital and the nursing home. I made an additional 60 for all my guests that came to the house, and then I went delivering a lot of the packages because there were some older people that couldn't come to my house, so I delivered it to them. I wanted to take my grandson, but I couldn't. And then I went to my plumber's house, who's not well, and I had to sit there. And something when I went into the house,
Is it the one I know?
No. But I went to an older
Why you
man
said that?
who's not feeling well, and I went to his house, and I sit there. But sometimes when you go to the houses, they keep you there, especially me. And everybody's asking me elections, and they're making fun of the way I'm dressed, and why aren't you wearing a black face like Dov Hiken? I said, what black face? I'm the American flag. I'm the American Uncle Sam. And everybody says, who painted your face? I said, I did it myself. So I tried to wash it off. The first day I washed it off good. The second day I couldn't wash it out. I had to bleach it, wash it, but it's pretty good. I got most of it out. And I painted my hair red, blue, and green.
You know, you could have been like Dennis Rodman, who was famous when he played in the NBA.
Right. He covered his hair.
Color his hair, yeah.
But everybody liked my outfit. I went to synagogue. They said, oh, even in the hospital. I said, wow, you're the most. Oh, yeah, I went to the bank with the outfit dress. And they were taking pictures of me, all the bankers. They said, you're the
now
most.
That I would like to see.
And
If you're
people-
out there, please send us those videos.
Yeah,
Send us those pics.
anyways.
No, you don't want people to see it. Show it on the air.
No, you can show it. I was happy. I got dressed up. I celebrated the holiday with the whole
I saw
community.
that, but I would love to
I
see
went to the house. I went to stores.
That's
I went
nice.
shopping with it. I'm not embarrassed. I want my community to celebrate. I went to synagogue. I made them laugh. I made them happy. I made the older people happy. That's what you're supposed to do, Purim. And besides, I went to work. Besides, I did the volunteering work. I mean, we don't take days off because it's a holiday.
I agree.
But yes, I did enjoy a little bit of time. And then I got home a little early. I spent a little time with Linda, and then I had to go out to a speaking event in my costume and outfit.
Yep.
And
Well, while you continue to figure that out, I do want to start to formally introduce our listeners out there on the Talkline Radio Network. First of all, thank you for joining us on our flagship WSNR 620 AM, where we all wish we were 1640 AM WJPR in beautiful Miami, Florida. Cue Will Smith's voice on that. I think we can say his name again. And also WNEW 1027 FM, the legendary Once Upon a Time rock and roll radio station. Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the Justin F. Heshy Show with yours truly, Tom, and Big H, the Heshter.
that's right.
Heshy
Yes,
Heshter,
people are
the Hulkster,
calling
the
me Big
Heshter.
H all over. But
The
by the way, you
Heshter.
forgot to welcome our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube fans.
But on the Talkline Radio Network, they can't see that. So
Oh, okay.
That's what.
But the people on the radio can't see that I painted my face red, white, and blue, and I couldn't wash it all off, so I have a little bit of paint on my ear and
Well,
whatever.
hopefully they can,
And
you
I
know, let us-
showered. Yes, everybody, I
Oh.
did shower. I showered well. Okay, but I got home.
Now, did we get like color, like the coloring on the water, on the floor?
Oh, I got coloring all over my shirts. I had to bleach it, and my pillowcase even at night. But except my hair was all red and green and blue. But I had a nice perm. I dressed up as a nice costume, like I
did
told
see the
you,
videos.
Uncle Sam, and I took my grandson out.
Yes.
Oh, here's the best part. I took my grandson out when we delivered the 250 packages.
Okay.
I stopped off at my niece who had the baby recently.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I love that baby. And
That was when I think
she
you
was
invited
still
me to 60th
to
Street.
right,
Yep.
and she was sleeping at 1:00 in the afternoon, and because she says the baby gives her a hard time,
Right.
And then what happened was, she got up, she knocks on my door 11:30 at night. Says, "Hey, I want to bring you a package, a gift package." And she brought the baby. I was ready to go to bed,
Right.
And she brought the baby, and I held the baby for an hour. Such a gorgeous little baby. And we spoke for about an hour with my nephew and niece, and it was very nice. And again, I thought I'd get home early for Linda, but Linda knew that there's no days coming home early.
Yes.
But yes, we had a great holiday, and happy Purim to all of you.
Happy Purim.
And now the spring is coming any day.
Yeah, we're supposed to get warm this weekend.
Yeah,
finally.
and the weather wasn't
Finally.
bad. And don't forget, we are collecting signatures for our campaign. So if you want to volunteer, call us at 718-288-7844 or email me at justinoughheshy@gmail.com. And you can join our team. We're ready about a quarter of the way at our signature, or
I would s-
20%.
But yeah, about that, right?
Right, we still have about a month to go on signatures,
about a month
and
to
we
go.
could use everybody's help. And we are going to run for state senate. People did tell me they want me to run. People did, I kept telling them I don't want to run. People are telling me they're going to run. They're going to support me. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
And let's give a shout out to my friend Sergeant Peter
How we doing?
and Ellie and my granddaughter Mira Nava.
Favorite part of the show?
I did a video with her, video
Yes,
call. She
saw
says,
that.
"Oh my gosh, she's so funny," and she loved it. She couldn't believe that Big H would dress up because I'm an
Yeah.
old man.
Ah.
She says, "You don't dress up." I said, "Sure, I dress up. I dress up every year. I used to dress up when my kids were little." Layla Tamar, my granddaughter, and Benjamin Hill, and Yeshua, who I went giving out the packages with to the thing, and he kept telling everybody Happy Purim. People just love that boy. And my granddaughter Hoover, and my new granddaughter Yael Miriam.
Wow. Happy.
I love all of them. And
Excellent.
my new great nephew, the 151st one, Chaim Shlomo Chaim. I don't know what name he has. They gave him two crazy names.
So you're just going to say both names and hope one's right?
Yes, that's the way it works. By the way, I understand we want to get into talk about the war, but I also want to talk about New York City politics. I want to talk about the future of New York. I want to talk about my future with you guys and what you guys could do. But here's my quote.
All right.
You can learn great things from your mistakes when you aren't busy denying them. We all make mistakes, you know, and we all mess up, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes there's no control, and people say, "Oh, you're wrong. I just couldn't do it, or it didn't come through, or it didn't work out." So you can't just deny that it's happening. I accept my mistakes. I accept the fate that hits me, and then I try to fix it. That's what I do every day, why I do my job so well, because I'm able to navigate. And that's why people hire me, to navigate a system that is full of mistakes and flaws, that I see them coming, and I try to help them. So guys, don't deny your mistakes. And even if you do deny it, just go on with your life. Stop looking backwards, because if you keep looking backwards, you'll be depressed and down. Why did I break my hand like Tom? No, Tom didn't give
Fractured,
up.
not quite broken.
Fractured.
Fractured.
Don't give up. Why did I fall down and bleed? Why am I not well? Go forward.
That's
Don't
it.
deny
You can't
what's
change
happening.
the past.
Yeah.
Cannot change the past.
Even if you could change it or try to fix it, just figure out a way to continue forward. Don't fall into depressions. Of course you're
Absolutely.
going to be depressed. Of course there are bad days when your body falls apart on you. But again, there's no reason for it. Go out and find your child. You know, I stopped taking in kids into our house. We're
you
done.
did?
Me and Linda are done. We're old. We're finished. We're still taking in a couple of people from jail, but we are. We're getting older. It's hard to chase after kids.
Right.
I got a call from a friend of mine who's has his good friend is the police chief of France.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And his daughter wants to come to New York
Brushing
for
on your
this.
friendship.
Yeah, so you know what?
What?
Let me show you what I did.
Well, best for your Instagram and
It's
YouTube
very funny.
audience.
I got these glasses.
And our producer says, don't. Our
And
producer wants you to put them away.
They translate different languages. So when I'm talking
well-
to her, I'm going to be able to understand French. I'm going to be able to say oui,
Now,
oui,
you
oui.
you should use the line that Jack Nicholson did in his role in the Batman movie as Joker. Would you ever hit a man with glasses? And hopefully that you won't be used by you. Because in the movie at the end, he said, would you ever hit a man with glasses? And then Michael Keaton, who was Batman, hits him with the glasses.
Nobody understood what you just said.
What I said was,
Who cares?
if you put those glasses on, you better not hope that you say to somebody, would you ever hit a man with glasses?
Okay.
Because you'll get hit with
Okay, Tom, you tried to be funny, so let's go with my jokes.
Let's see if yours is
By the way, I
funny.
do have another quote.
You do?
Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction.
Okay.
Okay, I do have courage.
You
I
do.
do try.
You are
and I
trying.
always have a purpose. I always have a direction.
Like these
Every
jokes.
day I wake up and so on. So here's my joke.
All right.
When I was a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
I told my young class to ask their parents for a family story. No, my students, little kids.
Yeah, I'm listening.
They were 7, 8, whatever. I didn't know.
All right.
8, oh, sorry. It was 4th grade. There were 8 and 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds in the
Okay.
class. So I told them to ask their parents for a family story with a moral at the end and to return the next day and to tell me the story.
All right. Sounds good.
So one of the kids, Chaim, gets up. He says, my dad is a farmer. And he said, we have chickens. And one day we were taking out lots of eggs to the market in a basket on the front seat of the truck when we hit a bump in the road. The basket fell off the seat and all the eggs broke. So I asked him, what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is not to put all your eggs in one basket. No, that's not the answer. That's not the
I'm
part.
listening now.
So I said, that's great. That's a great moral. Next, Moshe, he said, we are farmers too. You know, another kid, because I was teaching some kids from out of town. And he says, we had 20 eggs waiting to hatch, but when they did, but only 10 chicks came out. The moral of this story is not to count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh,
Very cool.
Okay.
Okay. So then finally I called on this one crazy guy, Laser, a monster of a kid. I think he was 11, left back. He was like a nutty kid.
I had a
flying.
friend like that who went to school
Right.
for 7 years to graduate high school.
So Laser gets up. I want to tell a story. I said, okay, sure. What's the problem? I said, go ahead, tell a story. He says, my uncle, Getzel, whatever. He said, my uncle Getzel, I think that's what it was a soldier in the army. And he got on a plane, and one of the planes almost crashed. So he jumped out of the plane, and he bailed out over enemy territory. And he had a bottle of whiskey on him. As he's going down, he starts drinking the whiskey, and he gets drunk. When he lands down there, right in the middle of hundreds of enemy soldiers. He was skilled to kill, so he killed 7 of them with his machine gun until he ran out of bullets. Then he killed 20 more with his machete till his blade broke, and then he killed the last 10 with his bare hands. I said, good heavens, what a crazy story. What did your father say, what the moral of the story of this crazy story is? He says, stay away from Uncle Getzel when he's drunk.
All right, that was a little funny.
Come on, too bad we don't have the laugh track.
Well, the producer.
So here's a better story.
He thought it was
I'm
so
going to tell
funny.
you a story about my son.
All right.
I got a brand new car,
All right.
and I let Linda drive it.
All right.
And And on the first day she drove it, she went to the store and got a dent.
Oh,
So she comes running home and she tells my son Avram, "Don't tell your father anything. Don't tell him to go look at in the car. Don't tell him to look at the car in the garage." Okay. Anyways, I come home and my son comes over to me and says, "Don't go to the garage." I said, "Okay, I won't go to the garage." He comes up to me again, "Don't go to the garage. Don't look in the garage." I says, "Why?" You know, now he's a 6-year-old kid. So something's wrong. Again, he tells me, "Don't go look in the garage." I go to the garage, I see the big dent. And my wife, Linda, comes out. She says, "Why'd you tell him anything?" She says, "No, I told him not to look in the garage." Anyways, oh, finally we get
well,
around.
because he was now the first joke you said. He thought it was so funny. The producer, he actually fell off the chair.
Yeah.
That's how funny he
Okay,
thought it was.
okay.
In fact, he said that the next
Okay,
time
time
you
is
should
running out.
you should go and be a Pips Comedy Club.
Can I tell you a
somewhere else.
serious story?
Hopefully, it's better than the jokes this week. Yes, please tell me.
I go to the cemetery quite often to take people to the cemetery, to different old ladies.
I
and
live right
people.
across the street from one.
Right, so I have one in Washington Cemetery.
Right
and
here.
I take this lady there, and there was a man we met at the cemetery. We became friendly with him, and his wife died. She was a nurse.
I'm so sorry.
And one day, we used to bump into her all the time. And one day, while we were standing there, a biker guy comes to the cemetery. And he sits there and starts to cry.
Oh my God.
And we're looking, a biker. What's going on here? We didn't say a word. And at his wife's grave. Okay. Then we come back again like 2 weeks later, and he's there again. And finally, we just didn't know what to say. We said, why are you here? And he starts to cry. He says, about 6 years ago, my daughter had cancer. And she was very sick, and we were short of money. And we almost raised enough money. I sold everything. I needed $40,000.
Wow.
And I remember I was crying in the hallway, and your wife, this lady, comes out to me and says, "Everything is going to be fine." And I says, "No, I'm dead. I need the $40,000. There's no way my baby's going to die." Anyways, about 4 or 5 weeks later, somehow some anonymous donor, because people spread the word, donated to me the $40,000.
Wow.
And I was able to save her life, and she's doing well to this day. He says, "Why are you here by my wife's grave?" He says, "Because I tracked down, I couldn't find out who the anonymous donor was. And about 6 months ago, I found out that it was your wife that donated the $40,000.
Wow.
And he said, "You know what? When me and my wife were renovating the kitchen, my wife told me that the $40,000 we put away, she spent it on other stuff, and we had a big fight about it. And now I realize what she did with the money. She's a saint." And he says, "Now," and then the biker says to her, "I want you to know my daughter is doing everything she can to help other people and to become a nurse like your wife." So these are the things of kindness, little itty bitty things. You don't have to give $40,000. You have to listen to somebody, give them hope, give them help, maybe raise the money. Help special needs kids, and that's what we did, and make people a little bit happier, their lives a little better, and you never know what you can do.
That's it. Listen, I always say
I help people come out of jail, and I help people lives get improved and live by me. And look, their lives have turned. Some of them have become very wealthy, have done good businesses, have many children. I'm proud of them.
Listen, I always say it all the time, every week now. Service to others is the rent you pay for.
Yeah.
It's like Muhammad Ali. That was his famous line, and that's basically
Okay,
confirming it.
let's get to business. First of all, I want to talk about New York before we get to Iran.
All right, I want to
They're
hear
giving
this.
out tickets to people during the snow for people not shoveling, not because it was the big snowstorm on time, but the people who have disabilities couldn't move around in the snow. But even if you shoveled in front of your house, you couldn't go on the streets because half the streets weren't shoveled. The
Right.
snow piled up, and you're giving people tickets. You should be giving Mandani, who did a sloppy job. Garbage wasn't picked up.
Nope.
We were ticketed for taking our garbage cans out and then not bringing them back in, but which we couldn't do during the snow. And now that they're picking up the garbage, the streets are filthy. I mean, it's just like this guy's the worst mayor.
Michael Rappaport said at the very beginning, when we had even before the first storm, that the city now looks like a third world country.
Now people say, Heshy, well, if you were mayor, what would you do? I would have had the garbage trucks out shoveling the snow. I would have had garbage trucks picking up garbage during the snow and not treat people like crap and throw this stuff on the streets. The first day I would have the streets already being melted. I'd have street cleaners out there. I wouldn't have you people ticketing. I'd have because there's so much traffic because of the snow and coming out into the street, I'd have all the ticket agents not give tickets because there's no alternate side anyways, but to help direct traffic instead of people getting stuck 15 minutes behind each other. And then the congestion pricing. It's just like, it's ridiculous. The system has no way. They keep suing us, ticketing us, finding us. And under Mandani, just already, you know what day is today? It's only March 4th. He's not even in power for 60 days.
I think he just hit 60.
Okay, he's already issued
63 days.
He's already issued almost $65 million in fines.
Oh, you surprised?
I'm surprised because
I'm not.
They're giving frivolous violations. Today I got a client that came in.
You said it yourself before Mandani got it. You actually said when we had a show, it was like right before the year ended when you came back, you said that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So really,
he's coming after the Jewish neighborhoods, the 501c he's canceling. It's ridiculous.
Well, look at the job we did in Staten Island. I mean, the powers didn't show up.
The whole town.
Any neighborhood that did not vote for Mandani, you didn't get good services. Bottom line.
And you see it. It's just ridiculous the way he's running the city. You put an incompetent guy in charge. Why? Because of Islamophobia? Stop it. We need a city that runs trillions of dollars passed by this city. By the way, Donald Trump said we're going to raise over $1 trillion already because of the tariffs. $1 trillion that came into this country to help with our deficit and other stuff.
But the stock market doesn't agree.
Well, the stock market is coming back. It didn't crash.
And just like you said about Mamdani, there was a Siena poll that came out, and his job approval was over 60%.
Okay, all I know is Mandani's approval is not 60%.
Siena did a poll in New York City.
They're only interviewing the Muslim community. There's no other way that you could talk about that. The city is a mess, and there's nothing else I can tell you.
Well,
all I know is a lot of people don't want to do construction now and improve their homes because since he's raising the taxes, we know they're going to reassess our values by any home improvements or any capital improvements, which he's not allowed to do. If somebody fixes his driveway or creates a driveway, it's not really a capital improvement. Sure, it improves the value of the house, but the house doesn't go up in theoretical value in a sense.
I see what you're saying.
People, because you renovate the interior of the house and you take it from old crappy to new, you're right. People want to pay for services that are rendered, but it doesn't make the value of the house higher. And what he does is when you file a job, because you're trying to do it legally, he then reassesses the value of the house. And now our taxes now go up not 9.5%, it goes up really 12 or 13%.
And that's what he
so
wants.
People are doing illegal work, they're getting stuck, they're getting caught. And I'm telling you, we're falling apart. Landlords are crazy. In the city, apartments are getting vacant. I'm talking even the more expensive apartments. The luxury ones, they're not even renting out to the cheaper people because when they're empty, they can rent it out for cheaper value. They're saying, no, we're not giving it to nobody.
They rather hold it out.
They rather hold it out.
Hold it out. But this stuff we talked about. I mean, listen, you're surprised. I'm not. This stuff we knew was going to happen.
Now, over the weekend, what happened? Tell me what happened.
I heard a couple of things.
Not a couple of things. Serious. This is a very serious issue.
No, we know that our bombs and our jets went into Iran.
Now, I have a question for you. According to all your friends who protested, Senator Schumer, AOC, and they're upset that we started a war without their permission. People protested against the war. One guy said, we're protesting against the war because all we're doing is going in there for the Palestinians and we're going in there for oil. That's not true. I heard Marco Rubio say that, first of all, we knew that the Iranians were going to attack sooner or later. So if you know somebody's going to attack you, you first try to do the first attack first. That's number one. Number two, we knew that Israel was going to attack. So when Israel attacks, you knew Iran was going after everybody. As you can see, they went after their friend, the Saudi Arabians. They went after the Kuwaitis. They went after Qatar. Sure, they went after the American bases. So you see, Iran has no idea. And what the interesting part is, if you're negotiating with somebody, why would you go to war with them? Right. So President Trump says at one of the meetings, the Iranian the Iranian, I forgot what you call it, the Iranian group of people. What do they call when they come? They were dispatched to this peace treaty. Said
Right.
we have enough uranium to create 11 nuclear bombs. And they laughed at the Americans. I mean, you're telling us you can make 11 nuclear bombs, and we're telling you can't have any, and you're telling us drop dead. Of course we're going to
So
wipe
you
out.
answered your own question, because ultimately here's what it comes down to, right? It's not just about America, and it's not just about Israel. It's about the threat that Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. That's a dangerous thing for the world.
And you can see their missiles now go all over the Middle East.
Yep.
Some of them already could reach Europe.
Yep.
Sooner or later, they will reach the United States.
Absolutely. That's why, to me, it's
Common
about
sense.
It's common
But why
sense.
are people upset that we're trying to protect the Americans? And, you know, the Iranian Navy wiped out. Air Force wiped
Absolutely.
out. And you have and then they killed Khomeini. And you know what? There's a mosque in Virginia that is mourning for Khomeini. This is a guy who recently killed 30,000 of his own people.
31,000, yeah.
But nobody says a word. Nobody says a word. And they didn't kill them over a 2-year period of time.
Nope.
They didn't die during a war like in the Israel-Palestinian.
No.
They died that his own people went out and killed them in the streets. But why aren't Iranians rising up against the soldiers? Why aren't they taking over the bases? Why aren't they attacking their missile places? Why haven't they attacked their capital? Why haven't they created a new government yet? I don't understand. And there's a bunch of Iranians there that are also crying for Khomeini. Why?
Because I think there's a lot of people out there that they feel almost that they are self-haters.
It doesn't
You
make
talk about this all the
common
time.
sense when you're mistreated and abused. I understand sometimes a woman that's so abused that she feels that she can't leave the marriage.
Right.
But there's no way that millions of Iranians or thousands of
I
Iranians.
think also it's they're conditioned, they're brainwashed. I
No,
think that's a lot. No, I think a lot of these people are conditioned.
We're all conditioned as kids,
Right.
And when we grew older, we all conditioned about God and our religion. But you know, when I grew older, I've thought about God and yes or no.
Well, first
I
of all,
thought about
people still, as adults, get brainwashed. You know how
people
they
have
do that?
addictions.
Right.
You think I don't have an addiction? My addiction is gambling and food and smoking. I've controlled my gambling by not going to casinos or never going to Vegas because I know it would be bad. I controlled my cigarette smoking. Yes, I do something bad to vape. But again, I feel it's better than putting smoke in my lungs. I control my food intake by doing special diets. But again, I have certain addictions. Some people have other bad addictions, and you have to be able to control it. But as you get older, you realize your issue. Don't deny, like I told you in the quote,
Right.
your problems. Now, if you want to deny it and just go on with life and do your drugs and have a bad life, don't enjoy it. I enjoy my life.
Yes.
I enjoy what I do every single day. You know, when they told us about this young girl that's coming from France and staying with us, me and Linda didn't even think twice. Sure, we'll take her in.
Are you brushing up on French?
Again, I told you I have the glasses. I'm still starting to learn Spanish. I'm having a problem. That's very important.
Yeah, well.
But again,
But I think it's important for the world that
what do you
stop.
think about the war? The people are saying the war will be over. I think the war is over already. They got rid of most of their missile bases. America has decimated the entire Navy. They're telling us that the straits of what was that strait called where all the oil goes through in Iran?
To be like a pipeline?
No, you know, where all the ships go through. Iran, like, pretty much controls it. Not the Suez, but there's another strait there, whatever, where a lot of the oil goes through.
Right.
The Houthis can shoot, whatever. And Trump says, I guarantee you that you'll have no issues. And it's great. There's no ships that are being hijacked, no ships that are being blown up. America has things under control. And I just can't wait and you know, there's 300,000 soldiers around.
Yep.
They're not ready to go in. But I think we're ready to go in and we'll take it over. But there has been 6 casualties.
Yes, that's very unfortunate. But, you know, I think it's interesting that
6 casualties. They had, what is it already? To what I understand, there's 1,000 civilian casualties and thousands of their soldiers, and their entire top military and leadership is all wiped out.
I think what's interesting, if you look at just from a grand scheme of things, we've seen what Trump has done with Venezuela.
Yep.
Seen what Trump has
People are
done
not
with
happy. I
Iran.
think it's great.
And
They're flowing. You know, there was a couple, Guterres couple, that had a daycare center, and some kids died because they found fentanyl under his door. You know, one of the kids took it. By the way, they got sentenced to life. Now, drugs is coming in here. Even whether you take it or not, or you buy it or not, you're guilty or you're addicted. By allowing it to come in, you allow the rest of us to commit these criminal acts. And Trump is doing great. He's stopping illegal the border crossings. And you can say, well, Heshy, what about the legal guys? You know what happened in Texas?
tell me.
The shooting?
I heard about it.
So there's a guy, a
Yes.
bad man.
A bad man.
He has a
He's
funny...
a bad man if he did a shooting for our audience out there.
He killed 3 people.
He did.
His name was Django, like...
I'm glad you pronounced it or tried to.
Nidaga, Degangji, whatever, same spelling. And now, he was wearing an Allah shirt,
Okay.
and he was wearing underneath a flag of Iran. So, you're right. Let me tell you the story.
Tell me the story.
He did come into the country legally. He did go through the citizenship process.
Right.
And he got approved.
Okay.
He didn't get proof of citizenship, I think green card and all that status.
Gotcha.
We're not even vetting the people who we let into the country through the proper way.
No.
Even if you go through the legal system, you have to be vetted. This guy wasn't vetted. He went and killed 3 beautiful souls, and I have their names here, and I feel so bad.
Me too.
Because for no reason they were killed because of the stupid Iran war. The name is Ryder Harrington, Savita Shan, and George Peterson. Just for no reason. It's like, and you're going to say, well, Heshy, you don't know better. You know, remember I told you about the story with the police that were a snowball fight?
Yes, we went last week on the show.
So people
yes.
think it was funny that you were throwing snowballs at the cops. I think it's cute to have a snowball fight with the cops, but they were throwing ice balls.
Yeah.
They were attacking him. So they arrested already 2 of the guys. You know what Mandani says?
I heard about
You're
that.
being too harsh, don't arrest him. These guys wanted to hurt, biting them in the face. It
Yep.
could have blinded them.
Absolutely.
And I understand 1 ball, 2 ball, but they kept throwing it and throwing it at them. And they told them to stop, and they threw them down, and you didn't learn your lesson. You tried to hurt, now forget they were cops. They were human beings. You tried to hurt them. And that's my part. And look at Mandani. You think your mayor is any good? I need to run against him. I need to run against him. He's not. He's a worthless little cockroach of a mayor.
Didn't you say that Ina Vernikov wanted to, though?
That's when I hear the gossip. I don't know.
I needed a good laugh. But listen, I think bottom line is that Iran, and I'll continue to say it, cannot have a nuclear weapon. And I think
No matter what, forget America not giving them. Israel was not going to give it to them.
No, I'm just saying in general for the world.
But why isn't America? First of all, a lot of Republicans are stating that the War Powers Act is not needed for the.
I was going to talk to you about that because I've noticed that there's again, it's a sentiment.
Either way, they don't have enough votes, and the president will override their thing that you need a vote.
But I just noticed to me these last several months, and I'm curious on your perspective because you are obviously Jewish. There seems to be a number of Republicans and a number of self-described MAGA Republicans that seem to be against supporting Israel, against fighting the likes of Iran. And I'm really perplexed on this because this is a life and death issue, and it is a threat to the world. I don't understand that. We're supposed to be, the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of liberty, freedom, prosperity. The Republican Party always stood on those things. You think about Ronald Reagan. You think about, whether you like George W. Bush or not, whether you think about Dwight Eisenhower. It seems to be that there's this growing sentiment with the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson crowd, the Matt Gaetz crowd, and a number of Republicans. And I'm curious what you think about this.
I'm going to give you an answer, and I've thought about it a lot.
You should.
You know, when the American Revolution came out, there was a very famous Jew by the name of Chaim Solomon. And he lost everything.
Okay.
He was very rich, and he donated a lot of money to support the war effort for a year for George Washington.
After him in Brooklyn.
But again, he was a very famous guy from Rhode Island.
Okay.
And he was willing to give it all up for this great country. He didn't have to.
No, he didn't.
Okay, it was 1700s. A lot of people were migrating to Palestine or Israel, and a lot of people, if you noticed, I'm number one. I don't care about the rest. I don't want to volunteer. I got to take care of my family. So a lot of the Americans are tired, and again, even Trump said it. We're tired of supporting the world. We have enough wealth that we've got to take care of ourselves. And a lot of Jewish people here too, we're tired. Forget about Israel. Of course I'm a Jew. Of course I believe in Israel. I love that country. I love my people. I love my relatives. But I have a different way of thinking that I do support Israel. I do support, but I don't support, the hate in what's it called again? Where the Minnesota people come from. The
Somalians?
Somalians. I don't really care about that country. But Somalians do care about their country.
Yeah.
I don't care about Cuba, but a lot of the Cubans send money back to their country. And what about Haiti? People care about Venezuela. Do I really care about Venezuela? I'm happy that this drug addict Maduro is gone because he was bringing drugs into our country, but I really don't care. I don't care about Mexico, even though I know they're taking over 30% of the country, the cartels.
Right.
We care about America.
Exactly.
And we care about, number one. The truth of the matter is, most of us care only about our family and our wives and children. We don't care about the people in the hospital. We don't care about the people who are sick. We don't care about my neighbors. You know, Linda told me we always have to care about our neighbors during COVID. We have to take care of the people that are sick. You know, and the big snowstorms, we went out and made sure there was food for a lot of the elderly people. So again, a lot of us do care about the others. But again, it's always America first. So a lot of these Republican Democrats, they're not so much as haters. They don't care about anybody but themselves.
But I just think it's
And
just,
this great country was built on caring about other people. But sometimes I also think about it. Do we give away too much of ourselves and not take care of what's at home right here in our backyard? We have children that are hungry. I know it. I feed them.
You do.
You know, do you ever see Simcha Felder and even Ina Vernikova except one day a year going out to give food out in a program?
Never.
I do it every week.
I know you do, but they never do it.
My niece was saying, "Oh, Heshy, where do you get the money?" I said, "I have a foundation. I raise money.
Right.
I do good deeds. I do this
sir.
every day." Or the other politicians do it. I said they do it on video one day a year. So why do I do it? Because I see the hungry people. I see the people coming home from jail that have nowhere to go. You're right. All the money I could have saved, all the time that I could spend with Linda. You know, I was telling people I want to retire. Everybody laughs, you're never going to retire. The reason I want to retire is not so much to just retire. I've spent a lifetime with my wife. I'm 62 years old and married 37 years.
Congratulations.
And me and Linda have been together almost all that time, except for the times I go to jail or sit with my mother who is sick, dying and getting sick. But other than that, even the time I spend with her, like yesterday or a holiday, I come home, it's 3, 4 hours, 8 hours. Yeah, we share our bed together, our room together, a meal together, a holiday together. But I'd like to spend, that's why people get married, like a young couple, they want to spend more time, they want to hold hands, they want to walk on the beach. And I see other elderly couples do it. And before I get elderly, now me and Linda have the opportunity to spend time together. So I'm thinking about myself, and then I feel sad because it's not right. Me and Linda have the energy to help other people.
I agree with you.
And when are we given this energy and this power? Because I was in the rehab center, I see people 30, 40s, 50 years old. A lot of these Down syndrome kids came over to me when they saw my videos. They said, you know, we follow you on TikTok, and we want to be just like you. And one of them tells me in a crowded elevator, he says, when I become an adult in 2 years, he was already 19, I want to be just like you. I said, I never want to become an adult. I'm still not an adult. And I was walking around with my little grandson.
Yes.
So I was telling everybody, say it. So my little grandson, I said, tell him when my show is. I said, tell him, when is my show? And then he says, when is my show? I said, not your show. And he kept saying, no, my show. So I said, okay, my little your show, your
That's
show.
funny. That's funny. But no, I just, you know, to me, wanted to get your perspective because I think it does bother me that there's a number of people out there that seem to be wanting to be isolationist.
It's not that they hate the Jews. A lot of people hate the Jews for stupid reasons.
Republicans, when I see Republicans and I see self-described MAGA people, that's what bothers me because I look at it, to me,
They want Americans to be wealthy. They want American. No, but you're wrong. There are a lot of, you know, that Mandani is going to be charging for this pre-K $13,000 a child.
I saw that.
Now, for $13,000, I can send them to a good.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that.
It's $15 an hour for a decent private pre-K, even $20 an hour. Comes out to be approximately about, I don't know, maybe about $500, $700. It's about $350. I calculate about $385 a week.
Right.
It comes out to be approximately about $1,400 a month, about $15,000 a year for private. Not one of these public, dirty, disgusting, not properly insured, run by by the city,
Yep.
and the parents get to choose anyone they want locally.
Sure.
But again, Mandani's going to do it his way, blow the city
course
money.
he is.
They're going to illegally charge. They're
Right.
going to overbill. And what's going to happen is, again, more corruption.
Absolutely.
This Mandani has no idea on his plan. Use that money properly. Like I believe the public schools should not exist. I think they should be all run privately.
They've been an
and
absolute
that 20,
failure.
right,
Absolutely.
but that $20,000-$30,000 per kid, go put them in a private school, create private schools. Those kids will be educated better.
I think now you and I are on the same wavelength on this because I look at everything that the government runs, right? Look at the MTA.
Yeah?
Look at the school system. You talk about sanitation, right? All these different agencies.
Even the
that-
cops.
I was gonna say so that was my next one. You look at
There's a lot of good cops, but they run it stupidly and
it's
sloppy.
not the individual, it's the organizational agency themselves.
You
look
have
at-
how many cops? We have 40,000 cops.
34,000.
Well, no, but you have but you don't understand. About 15,000 of them are doing administrative.
Yeah.
So you only have about 20. You're not utilizing the cops right. Plus, with their overtime and sitting
Every
shifts.
city-run thing, city-run hospitals are in albatross. Schools, you just brought up. Sanitation, you talked about at the beginning of the show. Police, there's problems. They're writing tickets.
Right.
So if you look at why would you want the government in more
Right.
control?
And-
Give the people the control. Give them their
But these
taxpayers back.
socialists who don't want to work, that's
They
my
don't, of
point.
course not.
Right. By the way, back on the Iran case,
Let's talk about Iran.
Israel and the USA, they're going to be going deeper into Iran. And I heard that a lot of Turkish citizens that were in Iran that were going back to home says the entire Tehran, the city, whatever,
Yes.
the main capital is abandoned.
Well, I mean, you might want to duck and run for cover.
But we don't see really pictures from there because of all the. But how are they still blacking out the internet? How is that possible?
Well, that's what they can. They're government run. They can do
Again, how is a government run if it's all in the air and stuff?
it. Well, they just find ways. That's why their people support, I guess, their government
Yeah.
still. I mean, I don't know, but what a big thing for Donald Trump to kill Khomeini.
Yeah.
And looking at what he did with Maduro.
Wow.
Cuba, right, might be next, and this whole
And
thing
now
with
they
Ukraine.
picked Khomeini's son to take over.
What do you think about that?
Stupid. I mean, this guy doesn't deserve it. And plus, he's a dumbbell to what I understand.
But can we expect more of the same? So what's the
And again, America says we're willing to deal with anybody that says simple. You know what? You know what he says?
What?
He says they first of all the headline of the post is "Defang the snake,"
Defang
but
the
Trump
snake,
lays out a plan, a goal for Iran. Simple.
Okay.
No nukes, no terror. You want to run your criminal government, your people don't want to stand up and rise against you, no problem. Here's the deal. It's a simple deal. No nukes, no terror, do whatever you want.
But I'll tell you something that Trump has done, and you
And
know
he
what?
doesn't care who rules the
But
country.
I want to point something out for our audience because I do have my disagreements with Trump, but I'm with him 100% on this because if you think about every president, right, since Ronald Reagan has had to deal with Iran and the mullahs, right, whether it was George H.W.
47
Bush.
years we're at war
Right.
with them.
So you go back with Reagan, right? Let's go even go before that. Carter. Reagan, George H.W. Bush.
Right.
You got Bill Clinton, who did nothing. You had George W. Bush, who, kind of cowered. You had Barack Obama, who basically just ignored the whole situation, who did the worst job of anybody. You had Trump the first time. Then you had basically Biden, who did what Obama did. So
We gave them money and we gave them interest on the money, the
Right.
billions of dollars.
And then what they
Do you
did-
know that we're still giving Afghan the what are they called again? Those people.
We paid for their government.
No, but but who are the people in Afghanistan? What are they called? Those animals? Not the Al Qaeda, but the other ones.
Well, not there was Al Qaeda, and then it was the Kurds. The Kurds.
Not the Kurds, the other religious crazy group that took over the country.
Whatever it is, they're all crazy. I mean,
We're paying them approximately $87 million a day still. $87 million a day to a terrorist organization.
Well, I think that's why people are upset. But I would also point out what I originally wanted to say, what Trump did that no president was able to do, which was to get the situation Iran under control. Because, like I said, every president either cowered or ignored it. I got Obama and Biden. George W. Bush certainly he focused on Iraq and Afghanistan, but let Ahmadinejad at the time, run him up.
Right.
Bill Clinton
They killed Ahmadinejad.
Yes, I did hear about that.
They killed him too. And
he was the worst.
And he was in lockup because he tried to create a new government, a coup to take over the country, to make it even more.
Yes, because he really wanted to get a nuclear bomb and use it on the world. I
Yeah.
mean, he was just bad
But as
news.
you can see, the Iranians lost, and right now they're desperate, and they're just shooting missiles all over. Most of them don't hit anywhere. Most of them don't accomplish their feat, and you see that.
Well, the odds came out.
But Pete Hegseth said most of their supplies have been depleted and knocked out. So this war, I believe.
What is it? 4 to 5 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. The problem I have is
What?
I want to go to Israel on April 22nd, and right now all the
You might
airports are
want to
closed.
reschedule that plan.
Too bad.
My buddy, who you know, Joseph Rosas was asking about that. I said, yeah, I don't think you'll be going this time on April 22nd.
I'm gonna have to. If I was gonna give it another week to see the progress, and then otherwise I'm gonna have to rebook everything.
You have to
It's a
rebook.
shame.
You have to rebook until maybe you run for office again.
But the only good thing is if I leave it alone,
Right.
my flights will be more vacant, and if they continue flying,
Cheaper price.
I'll not cheaper price. I'll get upgraded.
Well, the price will be cheaper because who's going to want to fly?
I already paid for the tickets.
Oh,
They
well.
won't give me a refund.
Well, then you're out of luck.
Yeah, I know. I don't have luck with that.
No, you got luck. I mean, but right now, look, it's important for the world to get this under control. I did see something
But
that
when you said something about congestion pricing,
I do.
again, we were overruled that congestion pricing cannot be
Yep,
taken away.
I did see that.
And it's just stupid. I'm looking at my tolls. I mean, it's ridiculous. The congestion pricing, I'm driving through the city. I don't see the traffic
Me either.
easier. And
Me either.
everybody tells me, Heshy, well, bicycles and bike lanes. You know, the Mandani bike lanes don't work. Bike lanes are not legal in the city of New York. Oh, Heshy, it's not right. Us bikers want it as well. So I have a plan, again, how to
What's
fix
your
this.
plan?
My plan is simple. There are certain streets that cannot have any. You want to put a bike lane on every street and every bridge. The answer is no. Just like you have truck routes, we'll have bike lane lights. That means, yeah, you're going to have to go a little longer if you want to use your bike. Do you know that when people have to rent the city bikes, they only get 45 minutes. They're not allowed to rent it longer than that.
I did notice that.
And not only that, you must. So I tell them, how do you get it there? Well, there's enough bike spaces. They give you locations that you can drop it off at the next location and then pick it up again. And then they have these monthly fees, usually, but you can only use the bike for 45 minutes at a time. If you go over the time limit, you have to pay like a big fine for it or a bigger fee. So my point is create these bike spots all over, but only create certain streets in the city of New York where bikes can go. So you're right, you can still end up at your final location, but it's taking a little longer. And if you're going on a bike anyways, you're exercising.
Well,
That's
they're
what it
putting
is.
them also
And
in
why do
places-
you allow bikes to be used during snowstorms and in the winter?
Well, that's
People die
that's
and
not
trip.
common sense. Absolutely.
But I see it. I see them on there. When somebody gets hit, oh my God. What, oh my God, why are you allowed? It should be outlawed that they, like when he shuts down the city, today's a bad day, big rainstorm, bikes and motorcycles are not allowed.
Well, I think a rainstorm and a blizzard are two different things.
No, but
I-
a bad rainstorm, your bike can slip. My car sometimes slips. There's no
I
reason
think-
on a bad weather day
So here's
that
my
you should be
here's my
taking a
solution
bicycle.
to that. I think that you should. If someone doesn't want it in their area, why are we putting it in there?
It's not wanting in the area. You still need to get from one side of the city to the other.
Right, but you're talking
so
about
you
bike
create
lanes.
special bike highway lanes. That means, yes, you'll have to go 20 blocks a little longer.
Asking the government
just
to
like,
do
Just
something.
like my car. I have to get to the other side of Manhattan from Midtown Manhattan. What do I
Right.
have to do? I have to drive 20 blocks out of the way, drive to the middle of Central Park, drive across and back around.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have to drive 40 blocks on the highway and all the way back. I got that. There are certain trucks that are not allowed on the Belt Parkway.
Yep.
Buses not allowed on Ocean Parkway with trucks. So you're making them take the longer route. So the bike should be the same way. Like on Ocean Parkway, we have a bike lane that we have two sidewalks and they split the sidewalk in half. But you don't take away from the street where a car can hit them. Or you don't take away an entire lane where we park our cars for the bike lanes.
I agree with you on that.
But again, you're abusing the privileges, taking away, and then charging us these tolls and time.
Absolutely. Now listen,
You
the
don't know how to
congestion
run the
pricing
garbage.
thing-
You don't know how to run the Department of Buildings. You know, people today, somebody got a violation today because he couldn't vacate an illegal squatter. So he called the city on him. He got 6 violations for having an illegal occupied apartment that somebody broke into. Then they're going to vacate him and charge the landlord to rehouse him somewhere else. This guy is out $100,000 until we file plans to remove the violations or legalize it. He's going to spend another $30,000, $40,000.
Unbelievable. But speaking of something that you and I were talking about, actually, it was somewhat good news for those that might prevail for common sense. They wanted to originally put Staten Island with Manhattan, with Nicole Maliotakis' congressional district, and the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in favor of the district should stay. It should stay the way it is, and that the plan to draw the district was null and void. It was the plaintiffs had argued that Staten Island and Southern Brooklyn, two areas of interest, were actually diluting the minority vote. But the irony of this, but here's even
minority vote. We are supposed to be a big mix.
Well, here's what's
melting
even more
pot.
dumber about this. They actually, the areas that the plaintiffs, which by the way, the firm that sued was aligned with the Clintons, the Elias Law Group, and what they wanted to do was actually put areas that were more white. They weren't adding Hispanic or African American areas even. They were adding areas all of a sudden, quote unquote, in Manhattan that would have actually increased the white percentage of the district. And get this, Maliotakis herself is of Cuban descent.
Yeah.
She's actually Hispanic. She's a partial Hispanic. So this made no sense. So this is one of the most dumbest lawsuits ever.
I was reading an article about Bruce Blakeman running for governor in the Republican Party.
Yep. What about it?
He called Hochul un-American. Do you understand? No, but I agree.
All right, well, why?
I mean, you're talking, here's a governor that has a lot of Jews that support Israel. She claims she supports Israel.
Right, claims.
And he's saying that how Mandani and Hochul are saying that this war is illegal against Iran. But you didn't say a word about the 30,000 that were killed in Iran.
No.
I don't understand. You have nothing to say about 30,000 people killed by their government, but you're upset that our government is going in there to save them.
So I got two thoughts on that. First, because it's Trump, so everybody's got to be anybody against Trump. It's Trump, TDS. And the second thing is, that's what the Democratic Party, the majority of the Democratic base hates America.
Yeah.
They would prefer us to be attacked and prefer Iran to have a nuclear weapon and prefer that unrest in the world. So that's why Mamdani and Hochul and the rest of the Democratic Party that's left, that's who they cower to. Yeah. That's who they cater to. No longer is the Democratic Party a party that supports Israel and supports those at home and supports the interest of America. They don't. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But, but speaking of Bruce Blakeman and Kathy Hochul, I'm sure much to your delight, there was a poll today. Siena came out and showed that Hochul was up 20 points over Bruce Blakeman. So Bruce Blakeman's got his work cut out for him. He may want to call Kathy Hochul anti-American, but he's got to do something to get his polling up, because if he's down 20 points right now, listen, I may not be good at many things, but we're 8 months away till Election Day. So, I mean, he's in a lot of trouble right now, Bruce Blakeman. So
I know. And I never thought Bruce Blakeman was a good candidate, but I will support him because he's the Republican nominee. But there is somebody running against
Well, Larry
him.
Sharp is running in the Republican primary. It remains to be
Did
seen.
he ever find the lieutenant governor? You put my name in.
A lot of people, no, well, I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of people putting a lot of people's names in there. But what I would say is that, he is looking to run in a Republican primary. So we'll see if he gets the signatures. But, like anybody else. But Bruce Blakeman, he's got his work cut out for him. But, maybe Bruce Blakeman should have picked you as lieutenant governor. Maybe that's what he should have did.
But before we come to the end of the show,
We still have plenty of time.
I know we do.
Those last couple of weeks you were ready.
No, because I want to bring up this funny subject.
All right, bring it up.
Do you believe in UFOs?
I actually,
Unidentified flying objects.
I'll say yes.
You believe there are aliens from other planets that are watching us, that come here, but we've never seen them. We've never done anything. They kidnap us in the middle of the night. They stick things into our body and they bring us back. Why don't they just kill us and cut us up? I don't understand.
I don't know.
But
You tell me.
We are starting to admit that these phenomena exist. So here's my problem. Okay?
Right, I'm listening.
There was a general, a retired general who once led a site long rumored to be tied to UFO research after he was reported missing in New Mexico. Retired General Major General William Neal McCaslin, 68, was last seen in Albuquerque.
Okay.
Local authorities said that the county sheriff's office issued a silver alert. The feds have since confirmed they are assisting the sheriff's office. Now, a lot of these people are actually saying there are UFOs. People are saying they did capture the
I've heard that
aliens.
for years, though.
For years. But they've never shown the people evidence. Now, you're right. Just like Men in Black, that the people who don't know something,
Right.
it's better that they don't know. You
Yeah.
know, like you wake up in a dream, it's a dream.
I do want to.
Just imagine they find out tomorrow that there are UFOs. The whole world
I
will
do
go
want to
crazy.
get ready to say goodbye to our listeners on the Talkline Radio Network, 1027 FM WNEW, or 106.7 WJPR, and also 620 WSNR. Thank you so much.
And happy Purim to all of
Happy
you.
Purim. Passover Sunday, right? First Sunday? It's
Not Sunday. It's in a month from now.
But isn't there a Sunday that we can't do something? Is it this Sunday, right? Can we do something this Sunday, right? Isn't there something where we prepare? No?
It's in a month.
Because I was told by somebody what's very close to you that this Sunday we can't do anything. I don't know why.
Well, most Sundays the Christians can't do anything.
But this was somebody that we are very
Yeah?
close to. I'll tell you who it is off the
I
air. But
don't
they
know
said they
what
can't
this
do
Sunday.
nothing on Sunday. But okay.
Musabi, they are do nothings on Sunday. That's
Well,
their
I'm
problem.
gonna say pleading the fifth on that. But listen, UFOs. Look, I've always kind of had an interest in that. I mean, we'll see what the future may bring, I suppose.
My thing that I want to tell you is
Yes.
that basically back on the Iran case,
I'll go to Iran.
you are telling me that the president had a choice. I'm telling you simple, the president had no choice but to attack Iran. Senate, Congress, people, there was no choice. What were you waiting for? Another September 11th?
So I'll tell you what
What were you waiting for?
I'll tell you what
More
your point
people
was.
to be shot in Texas and Houston and New York City. It's called preemptive.
Now, here's what I heard, and I think I know where you're going with this. And I heard this, I think it was a couple of Congress members, Thomas Massey, but I am a big Thomas Massey fan, but not on some of the things he says about Israel. Everything else, I'm a big Thomas Massey fan. But when they were saying, we want to take away Trump's powers with the resolution, but here's the kicker. You're not going to get 2/3 of a vote to take away
Right.
Trump or any president's
But
war
we
powers.
created a
Unrealistic.
constitution that's not supposed to be changed, and we're constantly trying to change this great document. Sure, we're allowed to upgrade it and use it, but you're constantly trying to change it. When the Democratic president's there, when the Republican president's there, here's the set of rules. It's simple and plain. The rule of America is simple. Majority rules. I don't even agree with the 60% rule. But you're right. When you're impeaching a president, you do need 60%. You need 2/3 of the
Right.
Congress and
Well,
the Senate.
3/5 and 2/3 of 2/3.
Whatever, right. But that's something different because it's a trial, and I don't even agree. I think a trial should be by jury, not 300 people in a jury.
So do you think if the Democrats, which it seems very likely right now that they take the House, are they going to try to put Trump on trial and impeach
Again,
him?
yeah, I make you now $100 bet they're going to try to impeach.
I don't bet, though. I don't bet.
Okay, me neither do I, because it's an addiction. But they will.
That's what I
they
think.
will. And again, they're going to waste millions of dollars in our time. I was watching the recordings on the Clinton, the two Clintons.
The Epstein?
The Epstein case.
Right.
So in one of the pictures they showed him that he's on the island in a hot tub. And they asked him, did you have anybody in there? He says, no, nobody was in there. Now, Bill Clinton, you're sitting in a hot tub by yourself for 5 minutes and people are taking pictures of you. You know there was somebody in there with you. And Hillary gets angry and upset and she doesn't want it publicized. She wants it publicized. So basically, Clinton was there. He was in a jacuzzi with a lot of young girls around him. But he, like Monica Lewinsky, where he said, I never had sex with anybody. But he was sitting in a jacuzzi naked. And where was Hillary? Hillary wasn't even there. And they asked about it. My point is that this Clinton's a pig. Yes, he was a good president. He knew how to budget. He was a man who knew how to budget. He used his brain.
But he had Republicans in the House and the Senate.
Right.
That's why he had to negotiate with them. Now, when his first 2 years, we saw some of the things. But I think that's what shows with any president. You need to have balance right now. And that's going to be what the Democrats want. But we know, as I had asked you, will the Democrats, if they take the House back, will they look to try to impeach Trump? And your answer is yes.
Yeah, I don't believe they'll take the House back.
I think they will take the House back.
I think you're wrong.
I think they will. And speaking of the Senate, apparently there's a runoff in Texas, and I was disappointed with Trump because he had endorsed the incumbent, John Cornyn, there in Texas, rather than Ken Paxton. I was hoping that Trump would have not endorsed, but then again, it's kind of a race a lot of people are worried about and such. I mean,
Now, I want to tell you one more thing before we finish. One of a famous
I
actors
see who
called
you're looking at.
Justin Timberlake.
I heard of him.
Very famous.
I heard of him.
Makes lots of money.
Yep.
The guy can. And this is what I'm talking about. The guy can sit at home and get drunk and pick up girls. He married
His
to
wife's Jessica Biel. I mean, which
a
should be
beautiful lady.
should be
who
enough
makes
to
lots
say.
of money.
It looks pretty good
He
too.
gets drunk. He seems like he has problems, and then he goes out and gets busted on a DUI. That's
Okay.
driving under the influence.
Right, I'm listening.
So either he's drunk or he's on drugs. Most of us would get jail time, who knows what.
Right.
Right? He gets released to do public service.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
I'm listening as to what else is the point.
It's not right.
The problem
it's
is
not right.
these Hollywood actors
No,
and actors.
I agree. Something like that, you had an addiction the first or second or third time, you get him help. But don't, when it comes our turn, you treat us the same way.
See that? Yeah. Now I was gonna get to that. Is that there's a double standard? There's
Right.
always a double standard.
Wait,
to people.
you know what public service he's going to do? Pick up garbage.
Not
He's not
even.
really going to go
He'll
speak.
take photos and
Yeah,
go somewhere
yeah,
once.
right,
And
right.
I know what you're saying, and I think that what you're trying to get to is that there is a double standard. But really, what it comes down to is a guy like this with all the fame he's had, all the money, a wife that's one of the most beautiful women in the world at one time, yet he needs to do these things. It makes you wonder what goes through the minds of individuals like Mr. Timberlake.
And we'll go back to your public school issue
Yes.
and the pre-K. They just found
gay.
This is not the fifth. This is like the fifth or sixth story I heard about
Yeah.
a young kid bringing a gun to school.
Yep.
Okay, they caught him in school with a gun.
Yes.
Okay, and here's my problem.
What's your problem?
In the Jewish schools, we don't have that.
No.
In the private Catholic schools, we don't have that.
No.
Even in the Muslim schools, we don't have that.
Nope.
So the public school is not working.
I agree with you on that. Listen, to me, if you take every government-run
No,
agency or
forget
or
all that. Public schools, stop them, and let's make them all private. Right, in the olden days, we needed public schools. But today we could use the public, we could have the same Department of Education, but overseeing it as a private run institution. Now, if the private institution steals or robs or doesn't give them budgets, I'm a 7A receiver, I'm a private manager. I still have to give my budgets, my reports in, I have to calculate for everything. There are people that run daycare centers for senior citizens and take Medicaid money. They have to calculate for every quarter, and they're audited even more harder than anybody else. Why? Because you have a small agency auditing them. When you have a big public school system, you have your people being run all over the place.
They can't run themselves.
They can't run themselves.
They can't run themselves, and that's why. Listen, and the taxpayer loses. We lose
The
because
kids lose, and it's a very
we
bad
keep
thing.
funding them and give them more and more money, but yet the attendance has problems. The schools, all these things, and that's why. Yes, I agree with you, but nothing will change because of the power of the unions. And no politician will take the money,
Right.
especially Mr. Mamdani, who owes his lunch, breakfast, and dinner to the likes of the teachers union.
Yeah.
So that's why if you're out there, you got to go out there and volunteer for Heshy. Give him a call, justenoughheshy@gmail.com. Stop by anytime. Also, check us out on YouTube at justenoughheshy 7005, Instagram, TikTok. And if he tells you, watch my show, watch his show. And also check us out anytime you're on Facebook and X. I think Heshy.
Instagram.
I mentioned it.
Oh, you did?
Instagram, TikTok.
We are live on Instagram,
YouTube.
by the
Yep.
way.
Thank you, everybody. Instagram. Hit the sub button for Heshy. He needs more subs.
I guess
And-
we're ending the show.
Well, actually, we're over an hour.
Oh, wow.
We're over an hour, but the producer said we did such a great job that he wanted us to go overtime, and he thought that we should go at least another 15, 20 minutes, but I don't think Heshy
Okay,
wants
let's just
that.
play the music.
Well, obviously, Heshy's really confused. He's flustered because he's been campaigning day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and that's why we want to thank everybody. Heshy's really dropping it all over the place, so just, come on, hang out and tell us what you think. We'll eventually be back with your comments and concerns. And my name is Tom. That's Heshy, who's trying to figure out that he's still got some red hair in his hair from the dye of Purim. But certainly Heshy and Dennis Rodman are very similar, just to let you know that they're both definitely interesting characters. One may be more religious than the other, but, they certainly do create controversy, good and bad. Thank you, everybody.
You're too busy, Avram.
Well,
Are
obviously.
you shut off the YouTube?
No,
Why
we
not?
didn't keep
Say
going
Easter.
because Heshy
He
right
wants
now.
us to
This is
hear.
what the people want. They want to see Heshy confused. They want to see him flustered because Heshy. Listen, the bad boy Dennis Rodman was the bad boy of the NBA. Heshy Tischler is the bad boy of Brooklyn politics. I mean, obviously. Listen, thank you. Yes, we were reading the post, and yes.
in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight.